Hello, hello. This is Creating Cards with Sherry. I'm Sherry, and I'm so glad that you have chosen to join me today for my Tickled Tuesday video. We're going to do a new embossing technique. I was so excited when I learned about this. I learned about it through Lisa Freeman. I saw her do it on her YouTube channel, and so I decided I would share it with you. We're going to be using the Blooming Phrases stamp set today. And then from the Beautiful Butterflies bundle, I'm using the die cut, this outside, the outline one, and the Beautiful Butterflies Hybrid Embossing folder. I couldn't think of the name of it. Okay, and then we are going to use our multi-purpose glue and our Stampin' Dimensionals. You'll probably need a paper snips. We're going to be using our blending brushes and a sponge dauber. We're going to be using pumpkin pie ink and the craft white ink, and adhesive backed pearl trio gems. And then I think that's pumpkin pie is the base card. And when you put this together, you will need, and this will all be on my blog. So make sure that you check out my blog, creatingcardswithsherry.blogspot.com. And you will be able to get all the measurements and the list of products that you will need for this. You'll need actually 3 of the 5 1/4 by 4 basic white cards, and you'll see why in just a minute. I'm going to put this on the inside of my base card now. There we go. And with a bone folder, I'm just going to crease this real good so that it lays nice and flat for us. My paper's sliding all over here. Okay. Then the other 2 basic white sheets, you're going to need 1 to make your stencil. And that's where I used the die cut. And I cut that out. And then I taped it to the other 5 1/4 by 4 basic white sheet, and we're going to use our blending brush, and we're going to brush the pumpkin pie in there. All right. Before we do that, I am going to take my stamp. I'm using birthday, and we're just going to stamp that right here on my 1/2 inch sentiment piece. All right. And we're going to let that dry. We're just going to set that aside and let it dry. All right. Now we can get started with putting together our project here. This is just the coolest embossing technique that I have seen in a long time. I just really like it. So we're going to have fun with it. Now, the reason I have this paper is so that I can take off the excess ink before I get started. And what you want to do is you want to color or paint or whatever you want to call it around your image with your stencil. And you want to be careful when you work, if you're going to use the butterfly stencil, that you want to be careful around the antenna because you can rip that very easily if you're not, because you just go over it really fast. The key thing to remembering this is that you want to make it as dark as you can, or as you like, I guess you could say that, because we're going to do something really fun with it. And the more ink you have, the better it will work. All right, I'm going to get just a little bit more. I tried a couple of these, and I'll show them to you. They turned out okay, but as I worked with them, I learned more and more the different tips that are important in this. Okay, I think that's about what I would like. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take it apart. If I can, there we go. Oh, that one tore. There we go. All right, so there's my stencil, and I can hang on to that for any other time that I want to do this. And I used washi tape to put the two pieces together. All right, now we're done with that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing folder, and I'm going to put this butterfly in here, and I'm going to match it up with the butterfly that is in the embossing folder. And I'm just going to set it so that it lines up real well. Whoops. There we go. I'm going to set that down, and then I'm going to take my embossing, my Stampin' cut and embossing machine. And for this, I need my plates number 1 and number 4. And you're going to put the hinge part at the top, making sure that all this, oh, I need to push this up a little. Make sure you get your hinge at the top of the plate and all your Stampin' Up! Logos in the same direction. All right, and then you're going to put this inside your machine and emboss that butterfly. Forgive me for all the shaking. It's just something I've never been able to change. It just happens because it's a lot of movement there. Okay. Now I'm going to take this out, and you can see that we have all this embossment on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the white craft ink or pad, and you'll have some, you have to put the Whisper White ink on it. And you'll just dab it with your sponge dauber. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to spread this around. And you will see as time goes by that as you do this, the pumpkin pie ink spreads out all over this card. And all those little bumps and other embossing parts will also become pumpkin pie. Right? I just think that it's so cool. It really gives some added color and dimension to your card. And I will bring this up closer to the camera so you can see it better when I get all the way around here. And now you can see why you need some dark. Get your stencil as dark as possible, or at least as dark as you would like it, because you do a lot of spreading around of the ink. And the more you have, the better it turns out. Or the darker you have, the better it turns out. Okay. Okay. I have to stop here a second. My computer told me that my battery is running low, which means my connection isn't what it should be. Let me just double check that before I lose you. Okay, now we should be okay. Oh, that even brightened up the picture. I didn't realize my battery was so low. Okay. All right, now let me see. I'll bring this up here and hopefully you can see this. But it is, these little dots are orange, are the pumpkin pie, and parts of the butterflies. It's, how can I say it? It's light. It's not real dark, but it is there. And as you work with this, you'll be able to see that as well. But you just keep on rubbing and spreading it out as much as you want until it's how you like it. Yeah, making it darker really did help. All right. I don't think I got this much with the other ones. Okay. Then, when we get that far, we are going to adhere this to the front. Okay. And I'm hoping that it's really hard to see in the camera. So I don't know how well you can see it or not, but it is there. You'll have to trust me, I guess. Hopefully the picture that I take, it will show up better and you'll be able to see it better and understand what I'm talking about. But it really makes a beautiful card. Okay, we are going to take then, I have a strip here that is 3/4 by 5 inches, and the half that I put our sentiment on, that's a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4, I believe. And they're as long as they are just because of the stamp itself. The stamp is quite long. So I am going to adhere this. Oh, I forgot I wanted to do one thing. Hopefully I'm not too late. And I won't make too much of a mess. I like to dip this in the ink to give it a frame or an edging around it. And it looks really nice. All right. See how that does that? Okay. Just lets it pop a little bit more. All right, then I'm going to take my paper snips and I am going to make these ends diagonal. There we go. Then I'm going to flip this over and get my dimensionals. closes before it dries out. Oh, there we go. Stuck on my finger. And I'm just going to put that right there. Then I'm going to take our adhesive backed embellishments. And this putty is, there we go. Maybe that'll work better. I'll put one there on the butterfly. And another one on the butterfly. And then we'll put one here. And you can put as many embellishments as you want, and you don't have to have this kind of strip. Of course, you can use a die cut or whatever you want to dress your sentiment up. It's totally up to you what you want to do. I'm going to put one more there, and then I want an odd number of embellishments, so I'm going to add one more, and we're going to put that right there. All right. So there is our pumpkin pie embossed folder. And I'm going to show you the other ones that I did. First one I did was this gorgeous grape one. And I think you can see the grape on those dots and stuff a little better on this one. And then I did one with Coastal Cabana. And yeah, I can see the Coastal Cabana on those too. I don't know why it's so hard to see. Oh, I guess you can see it somewhat. So aren't those beautiful? I just think they are so beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this and had a lot of fun with it. I know I did. And be sure, again, to check out my blog, creatingcardswithsherry.blogspot.com, to get all of the measurements and the list of the products that you need. You have a fantastic week, and I will see you on Sunday for my Simple Sunday video. Bye now.